Or no, you don't notice.
The sound I got here is out of a little laptop. It's not
Uh,
easy to tell better. I can hear you just fine.
so I could probably be talking out of a paper cup, and it wouldn't make much of a difference on your end.
Yeah.
All right, I'm starting the show.
Descends and stars softly gleam. The truck prepares for a magical dream. Dragging to breezes weave through the trees, carrying.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Early Watts. I'm Jimmy, and with us, as always, Mr. Tony York.
Good morning, everybody.
That song sucked ass. I thought it was. I'd only listened to like the first couple seconds of it when I picked it this morning. I thought it was just an instrumental. It was like a Halloween harvester bullshit, and I apologize to that, guys. Apologize. Ooh, who is that?
Yeah, guys. You know how it is. Good help's hard to find.
Unstained Slipknot cover by A. Yeon and Jong Yeon Lee. Nice little Asian lady playing the drums. I'm cool with that. All right, so anyway, me and Tony were having a little bit of a fucking kind of a political discussion before we got on the air here. Not political necessarily, but governmental discussion. Emphasis on the mental part. So I guess
Yeah.
there's this DOD Manual 5240.01, August 8th. This is all the way from 2016. So keep that in mind. 2016. Authorities and defense intelligence components to collect, retain, and disseminate information concerning U.S. persons in compliance. Well, and I should have probably clicked it with dot dot dot. Um, in accordance with Executive Order 12333. This issuance establishes procedure to enable the Department of Defense to conduct authorized intelligence activities in a manner that protects the constitutional and legal rights of the privacy and civil liberties of a U.S. person, which is a fucking how governments and politicians and everybody kind of just scoff at the Constitution with all of these things that they try to pass and all of these fucking executive orders. And I mean, this executive order in itself is to protect constitutional and legal rights, but at the same time completely dismisses both. Like the first statement is contradictory just in itself. It wants to protect the constitutional and legal rights of the privacy and civil liberties of U.S. persons, but we're going to do that by stepping on your legal rights and ignoring the Constitution. DOD authorized intelligence activities and foreign intelligence and counterintelligence activities unless otherwise specified in this issuance. Authorizes the defense intelligence components to collect, retain, and disseminate information concerning U.S. persons in compliance with applicable law, executive orders, policies, and regulations. So if you're up here and you have a large platform and a large following or whatever, and you say something that, true or not, it goes against them, or they feel like you may be telling too much truth, and it's going to what's it called? Security, something, whatever. But if you're gonna go against whatever they're fucking talking about, they could tell people you're lying. They could take you off the air, which is probably more likely what's gonna happen. This is crazy, and it's fucking huge. This is crazy.
Well, the video that brought this thing to my attention said that somewhere in it says that this allows U.S. military troops fire on United States citizens on American soil if they are doing the aforementioned stuff, like demonstrating against government policy.
I am not in this. I'm not seeing that. There's applicability, policy, procedures, internal guidance. Can I click on any of
Guess
these?
I should do research then, which I
No,
didn't.
no. It may very well be the case, but besides that, they don't need an order for that. There was already the fucking domestic terrorist thing that they did. I almost said domestic terrorist act, but I know that's not what the name of it is. But they already did something along them lines. Like if you do or say something, they can come and arrest you, and then if you fight it, they could shoot you. And then also martial law. I mean, if martial law is ever invoked or whatever you want to call it, they shoot the shit out of anybody they want to.
Yeah.
What's up, Beauty? What's up, Gunny? What's up, Oz? What's up, DJ?
Hey, Mikey,
Howdy, folks.
Beauty, Gunny, DJ.
If I missed anybody, it's because my goddamn fucking thing won't go away. On the side, I put an emoji up earlier before the show started, and now it won't fucking go away. I'll just do another one. What if I do another one? Nope, it still won't go away. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I'm already thinking that this is fucking crazy, but it's also going along. It's crazy that you heard this because a couple days ago I heard that the CIA was getting out of the government and turning into a private company, like a BlackRock type of situation and everything, so they don't have to adhere to all those pesky constitutional rules and all those pesky American fucking citizens and all that shit getting in the way of their experiments.
Well, I don't know how that would work because it seemed like they would be better off tied to the government, so the government could sweep that shit under a rug.
Yeah, but that's the same. I mean, look at how I mean, at this point, even with when I'd said BlackRock, right? But
Yes.
they now most of anything that has to do with BlackRock, you can consider that a rumor. There's no hard evidence on anything. There's no any, you know what I mean? So with the CIA, yeah, the government can cover it up, but they still have to answer to the government. Let's go back in time and say that John F. Kennedy was an actual upstanding person and he was looking out for the good of the people and all that other shit, and all the rumors about him aren't true. And all the facts about him aren't true. He went against the CIA, or he didn't go against the CIA. That's the wrong way to word it for sure. But he was, well, not necessarily, because he was kind of going against the plan that they wanted to have. I mean, they don't have to worry about that now as a private entity. They could just do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to answer to anybody. No one has to read their reports. No one even has to know that they did it.
That is a fucking frightening idea.
Yeah, especially if you've ever... I suggest people go out there and start reading unsealed documents. Not the JFK one. That one doesn't really tell you. Most of it's fucking redacted. And actually, most of it didn't get let out, ain't it? Or there's still pages that haven't been let out?
Yes.
But the ones that are out...
You catch that Rogan, you catch that Joe Rogan interview with Trump. They talk about that specific thing.
Oh, Trump letting out the documents?
Yeah. And he says if he's elected this time, one of the first things he's going to do is release the rest of it.
That
The people that he didn't want to basically throw under the bus are now dead.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that we never find. Listen, I understand that there can't be 100% transparency. We have, national security, all that shit. Our possible enemies keeping up with the news, and if we get the information, Russia could get the information, or fucking North Korea, whatever. I get that, but I do think that there should be a little bit more transparency. Where everybody in this chat, I know it from being on gun channels, from being on everything. Everybody will be super duper quick to condemn a criminal on the street, but when a criminal in a suit on TV is telling you what to do, it's okay. And not that part. I'm not talking about the chat. I'm talking about actually probably majority of America. Look at politicians like they're definitely something that they're not. Because if you guys recall, these motherfuckers are supposed to be working for us. Wouldn't that be considered a private militia? As far as BlackRock goes, or all they're doing is, because the CIA is not necessarily. It's almost like the ATF. The ATF are glorified tax agents, but they can go in and suit up and fucking get their vests on and get their gear on and get their guns on and all that shit. I believe that the CIA operates in somewhat the same way. They're not necessarily a military entity, more or less of a, intelligence agency. So I don't think they would necessarily be considered a private militia as much as a private company like BlackRock.
Or they would be considered a government contractor.
Or that, yeah, that
You
too.
know, a lot of shit gets kind of how the hell do I want to say it? Covered by just the title of government contractor. You know, they're a government contractor. You know, they do what they do, basically.
And only have to answer to themselves.
And nobody's really ever truly questioning them.
Yeah, which is scary to me. Tell Trump to let the surviving Roswell alien free from the bunker. Let the bastard be free. That's another thing too, man. Is everybody like not noticing that they're really hyping up aliens these past fucking 5 years or so?
Well, they touched on that too. I mean, you really need to sit and waste 3 hours watching that fucking interview. It's worth looking at.
I'm gonna watch it today. When I go, I'm gonna queue it up. So when I go out today to the gym, I'm gonna fucking have that shit on. Cause I am interested. Now listen, I still, there's three sides of my brain when it comes to Trump, right? Part of me really wants to believe that he's for the people and wants to, not even for the people, just for the country in general, which would make him for the people as well. Part of me really wants to believe that, you know, drain the swamp, all that other shit. Another part of me thinks that he's just the same as every other politician. He used to rub elbows with the Clintons. Why the fuck in private doesn't he still do that? Not like, you know what I mean? And then there's another part of me that just think he's a fucking a rich guy with a big ego, and being the president twice is just another notch on his belt. It's like fucking the hottest girl in high school type shit when you're in high school, not now. But you know what I mean?
That'd be a problem today.
Yeah, a big problem. But you know what I'm saying though. It's you know, just another notch on his belt, just another huge accomplishment. So I don't know. I'm very, very torn on Trump.
The thing with Trump and wanting America to be considerably better, a part of that, you know, is his fucking ego, because if America does vastly better, then he does vastly. You know, so there is skin in the game for him to make America, you know, be more economically superior to everybody else, just so he can make more money.
Yeah, and I mean,
I've said it before. I honestly believe that Trump cares what people think of him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that playing a big part of it, but that would also go in with the ego thing, but I could see that playing a huge part. Um,
They interviewed, there's a lot of it in the interviews, Trump being his dumbass name calling himself. That's just Trump.
yeah.
That annoys the fuck out of me because that's like schoolyard bully type shit.
Yeah, and I'm not a I'm
So,
not a I'm not a fucking great big fan of that either. But at the same time, I mean, look at the I even hate splitting the side because I'm promoting division myself. But kind of the whole quote owning the left or whatever, how else can you argue with these motherfuckers that just want to scream over you and talk over you and not listen to any of your points, and then when you make a decent point they completely change the conversation into something else? And how else do you deal with that other than calling them ugly or so? You know what I mean? it's
well,
it's not the
and
right way to it's not the right way to go about an argument. Go ahead.
it, it, just, it's so fucking immature for a man who's been president and is currently running for president.
I
That I find that distasteful as all hell.
and I
Now,
absolutely
like here, I call you names occasionally, but it's all in jest.
friendly banter.
Yeah, it's not, like trying to be a fucking dick.
I'm not trying to hurt your feelings and vice versa. That, but yeah, Trump kind of
But
goes for
if
the
you look
throat.
at the political arena itself, look at how nasty shit gets, even like in the primaries where Trump's calling out all the other Republicans, and as soon as it gets clear that he's the nominee, that shit's all gone under the bridge.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, but to be fair, there has always been smear campaigns and stuff like that. But yeah, it's getting a little ridiculous. Speaking of which, too, I just seen a commercial literally this morning right before I jumped on here. I don't know why I just said that. I hate the word literally. But anyway, um, right before I got on the fucking Discord, I was watching the YouTube and an ad came up. And it was the one where Trump was like, "I'm rich as hell," and then it cut back to, "And I'm gonna give you all tax cuts," but they like cut out the part where he said he doesn't need any extra money or something like that, which is bullshit. That motherfucker wants to stack as much dough as he possibly can. But and I'm not mad at him for that or anything like that. I completely, if I could, I would. But it's just crazy how they take like little snippets of what you say and then cut out the middle part of what you said and then go back to the end part of what you said. It's all fucking ridiculous to me. I've grown since starting the early watch, what, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. I have grown to hate politics. I hate reading news articles now. I hate watching the shit on TV. I just fucking despise it because I feel like, when people lie to you, it's almost like indirectly calling you stupid. And all these politicians do is fucking lie to me, and I don't like that shit.
No shit. Hey, Gunny, I can't answer that for sure. I don't remember. I think the crooked Hillary came out there and calling Harris
Indian.
uneducated or dumb or typical Trump shit. And Rogan really did a fairly decent job about keeping him curtailed.
Yeah, well, that's the one
And
thing
trying
too.
to keep him on fucking point.
That's the one thing about Rogan is that I'm not a fan of Rogan, but that is definitely one thing about him is he's a very good interviewer. That's why he's at where he's at right now.
Rogan did kind of figure out fairly quickly that he had to let Trump talk because Trump's style of discussing shit usually weaves in some stories to round out and make a point, which I found kind of interesting because I really don't listen to Trump that much. So this would have been the first time I actually sit down and listen to him for 3 fucking hours.
which
I
is a
I listened
while.
to the whole damn thing, and I had a slightly better view of Trump when it was done. Although I still don't like the fucking schoolyard bully shit.
No, I'll never be a fan of that. But like I said, it's what's the old saying? I'm bad at sayings. You already know that, but it's like it takes evil to beat evil or something like that. Maybe it takes a bully to beat a bully. I don't know. Because that's how all their arguments end up, is bullying in some kind of a way. Like I said, talking over people, and you can't get into a political discussion with somebody that is a staunch fucking liberal and not either get them yelling at you or shutting down completely. One or the other.
Well,
Scotty Fudd, what's
here-
up?
I didn't see Mr. Bud come in here. There he is. Hey, Scotty. Uh, we really need to go back to the old adage of sticks and stones, because this getting butt hurt over being called a name is a little bit goofy.
Well, yeah, but this is the whole. See, to me, what's going on, right, is that this is going to sound ridiculous, but hear me out. It goes back to the beginning of the participation trophies. Everybody has to be special.
Yeah.
Everybody needs their own, like, shining star to make them be special. And if you're just a chubby, hairy lesbian, how can you be special? Oh, I know. I'm going to say I'm a fucking boy. And then get on people's asses when they don't call me a boy because they see my tits and their brain tells them to say ma'am or miss or bitch or
Yeah, that
whatever.
that we're never going to come to agreement with the other side on because the science is pretty clear on uh, biology there.
Yeah. Well, I'm just using that as an example though. Now we like last year, you know what I mean? All of a sudden the whole people of color thing a few years ago or whatever, and then all of a sudden like, Chinese people, and I'm not being racist, but Chinese people they've flourished in this country. All these it might as well be a company. They've flourished in this country. They immigrated legally. They came here. They've gotten educations. They've gotten jobs. But now all of a sudden, in the past year and a half or two, now they want to be considered people of color and minorities and all this. It's like everybody needs some kind of something to make themselves feel special. And I don't know how we go back from that. Because how the fuck everybody has that
Well-
main character energy, like they want to be the star of their own show, and the world don't work like that.
No, it don't. That's something that I don't really get people, but there's so many people on fucking planet Earth that not everybody gets the lead role. Don't happen.
Can't.
But the Chinese, when they come over initially, they were brought over here and used fucking
It was labor. I know.
slave labor,
Mm-hmm.
blowing holes in fucking mountains to put a railroad through, and that's kind of pretty consistent with U.S. history.
Yeah. And it was also, I mean, I don't know if it was consensual with the Asians or not, if they just took the work, or if, were they sold too? Like, because Africa, we didn't go over America. I don't say we, 'cause I mean, my grandparents were immigrants, so I don't think my ancestors were here at that time. But, I mean, America went over to Africa, and it's not, trafficking isn't good, but the Africans sold the slaves to
Well-
Europe and all that shit. they were a part. They
I
were a
think
biggest the biggest part of the slave trade. Go ahead.
I think with the Chinese, and Scotty mentioned the Irish. The Irish were a little different. The Chinese, I think the shipping them over here was done. The money changing hands was done in China, and with the Irish, you know, that was the same thing. It was kind of an indentured servitude thing with the Irish, whereas they would come over here and be forced to be slaves to whoever for 7 fucking years before they would get freed.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you want to get technical, just from my understanding of the far back past, the the mix had it the worst because they were actually, like you said, it was indentured. Like England and whatever made them. You know what I mean? Like they were forced to. They weren't sold. They weren't fucking whatever. Like you said, it was an indentured servitude.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that was from the people that they were indentured to, or if it was like a corporate type of thing in England. I have not really looked into it that much, even though I'm like quarter Irish.
Yeah.
I don't care. Uh, any form of slavery is bad, unless it's your kid.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, slavery is slavery, but I mean, and also, but back then, I mean, it was a normal thing. Nobody looked at it as a bad thing. They're like, oh well, these people were sold to us. We're gonna sell them to other people, and they're gonna do work for other people. And I don't know. We know
I'll tell
now.
you what. Look up a dude named Cassius Marcellus Clay.
You,
Sometime you don't have to do it right now.
you mean
And just
Muhammad?
check out. No, this is not
That's
the
not.
boxer. This is who the boxer was named after.
Okay, hold on then. I want to look at it. Cassius what?
Marcellus Clay. Real fucking interesting dude. Hey, Dr. Goon. Welcome.
Major General Cassius Marcellus Clay was an American planter, politician, military officer, abolitionist who served as a United
Yes.
States ambassador to Russia from 1863 to 1869. What's up, Goon?
Yeah, well, what that doesn't tell you is that he refused to become ambassador to Russia unless Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation into law, which Lincoln wasn't going to do it at that point. He also, when his uh, folks died, freed all his slaves and gave them land, some of it, and he became a staunch abolitionist and got into many fights. Whereas, he killed. They made a joke. I think it was a joke that said they wouldn't. When his uncle Henry Clay was going to run for office, he wanted Marcellus to go and speak for him, but wouldn't let him go to the South because they figured that would be voter fraud. He'd kill so many.
Hmm.
That may be a joke. That may have been a true statement. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It's funny.
if it was a joke, it worked. But that's the see. I'm gonna sound like a fucking like I'm super against America because I already think that the revolution was a setup, and I already think all this other shit. But wasn't the whole abolition of slavery just pretty much so places like Walmart and shit like that could just so big business can thrive pretty much? Like you can't depend
No,
on.
I don't think so because they wanted to write the abolition into the Constitution. Jefferson did, who owned a bunch of fucking slaves.
Well, yeah, right, but that was just so like
But
permanently forever. You can't get your own shit done with your own slaves. Only big companies that can hire employees can get it done.
the thing with it was is that they had to take that out because the southern states wouldn't have ratified the Constitution.
What
I mean,
country is it? Go ahead.
there's been a push against slavery from the onset of this country.
What
But I mean, if you
country?
look at the southern state,
No, go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No. I'm gonna throw you completely off. Go ahead. I'll write it down and wait till you're done.
If you look at the southern states, not saying I remotely agree with this in one iota, but you know, how the hell do you know, make up for having all this quote unquote free labor? That you can do what the fuck ever you want with or to.
Well, yeah,
You know,
that's how they thrived though. Back that's how people grew crops and fucking
right?
did all their shit, made their own clothes, everything like that, and they needed slave labor to tend to all those crops. But like,
Whereas machinery type stuff requires a bit of, if you're doing production work in like a fucking blacksmith shop, you have to know fucking what you're doing. Whereas, you know, picking cotton, to use as an example, doesn't take a hell of a lot of intelligence or education.
right. But at the same
Now,
time,
today, it'd
just
be easier to fill a factory full of people that push a fucking button than it would be to get people to go out and pick cotton and pick the cotton seeds out and shit like that.
well, yeah, but see, that's why I'm saying what I said, that I think that it was abolished so that they could fucking, the companies that can pay for labor and the companies that can pay for machines and the upkeep of machines and all that can thrive, and then the people that were, I guess you can call it self-sufficient with slaves, are now going to depend on big companies for their shit. That's where my mind was going with it anyway.
I don't know. I mean, they still have to produce the product. So the
Yeah.
same type of labor has to be done. You have to get the cotton out of the field before you can make fucking shirts.
Well, that's why. Who was it that came up with the cotton gin? Was that
Eli Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just meant that you could get the seeds out of it.
I think he also came up with the phrase "work smarter, not harder." Was that him too?
I don't know, but he was responsible for the Colt Walker.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah. He doesn't get enough credit for that one. We always hear about the cotton.
No shit.
I
Talk
was-
about a fucking contract that was fucking unbelievable. Colt contracts him to make the fucking guns, and when they get done, Colt gets all the fucking machinery too.
Yeah. Fucking racism. Racism at its finest.
To make a fucking 1,000 guns.
Oz says slavery goes all the way back to the caveman days. Every time two parties fought, someone became a slave. We used to do that in the fucking foster home that I lived in. Slave for a week type shit. If you fucking lose at a game or something, you got and it was mostly black kids with I was a kid as well, but it's funny how
Yeah,
things.
but you're colored too.
Yeah. I never won. I was
If I'd
usually
played that
the,
game,
I
there'd
was,
have been fucking hell raised.
I was usually the slave. I was a fat kid, guys. They were more athletic than me. Anyway, Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What wasn't there a country that like half of the South moved to? Was it Argent? Not Argentina. That was the Nazis. Brazil. Where did half of the Confederacy move to when fucking they lost?
Oh shit! I vaguely remember what you're talking about, but I can't.
Americana. It's in Brazil.
I was gonna say there was a John Wayne movie made about that.
No shit, really? Was he moving or was he
Yeah.
trying to stop? Oh, really? That's crazy.
Well, the group of Southerners were heading for South America, and he was going there too, and they got entangled somehow or another. I haven't seen it in a lot of years. Can't remember the name of it either.
Maybe it was called Americana. That'd be some shit. But check this out.
No, it wasn't.
Americana is a city in the highlands of east central Sao Paulo Estado, Brazil. Americana lies near the some fucking river I can't pronounce. Settled in 1868 by immigrants from former Confederate States of America, the settlement was made a seat of municipality in 1924. That's funny. Like, fuck this. We're leaving.
Right. If I remember right, this was also had Rock Hudson
Let me see.
as Confederate leader that was going south.
You guys want to take away our blacks? We're gonna go get us some Mexicans. Brock Hudson. Fucking gotta reach over this. I hate fucking the way I have this set up right now. I got a soundboard now, so I have that and my microphone in front of me, and I gotta reach for my fucking keyboard. There we go.
Yeah, if I wasn't so lazy, I could get up and look. I've got the movie here.
Is that that ain't the only movie they was in, huh? Was it Undefeated?
Yes, that's it. The Undefeated.
John Wayne was a Yankee and Rock was a Confederate. Opposing sides. I might have to watch that because that was an interesting story to me. How it is just like, well, fuck this. We're gonna go. You know what I mean? Fuck America. We're going to Brazil.
It was basically how the fucking Mexican bandits screwed them over trying to get there. South American, Central American, whoever the fuck. They weren't super definitive about location.
Oh, so it was kind of like a thing making the Confederates look bad. Like they're stupid. They got robbed by fucking Mexicans on the way. Oh, okay. I gotta watch it because now. I'm
yeah,
interested.
in sort of a way it was. They were kind of naive, trust. You know, basically, fucking Hollywood, John Wayne era movie.
Yeah.
You know, truth really was secondary.
Well, I mean, if you look at any media, I mean, most of it always usually makes the Confederacy, or I mean, Southerners in general, usually makes them seem like fucking yokels, or you know. I don't know why. I mean, well, I guess if the Civil War, but other than that, I don't know why they like people have picked on the South so damn much. They make some fucking good ass food, and you know.
Oh, the fucking women talking in the Southern accents. Jesus, hot as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say the hospitality. Wink, wink.
Exactly. I lived in fucking Alabama for about 9 months, 1979, 80. So I was 18.
I was in Memphis for a little bit, and then I was in Florida. Oh my God, the
Florida ain't the South.
What is it? The East?
It's something fucking else.
Yeah, it is. Let me tell you something. I don't think that they even make panties in Florida. I don't think that nobody wears them. Nobody. Yeah.
But were you there in July? I can see why. It's fucking ungodly hot.
Yeah. They don't want a swamp to start forming down there, I guess.
The fucking prime vacation spot from Florida is to go to hell.
Have you been keeping up with Florida? How are they doing lately? Is everything like back to normal yet, or are they still rebuilding and all fucked up?
Florida ain't getting the fucking press that
Carolinas?
the Tennessee and North Carolina seem to get. Man, they got fucking horribly.
Yeah, fucking back to back too. On top of that, that sucks.
I mean, I've seen some videos where people were going down there trying to help out on YouTube videos where they actually showed shit going on down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I lived in hill country in eastern Kentucky for a while. Man, as I look at what happened there, I could have seen it happen there in eastern Kentucky where, all the floodwaters ran down the mountains into the valleys. God damn, that's a frightening thought.
Yeah, no shit. Oz makes a good point
Thank
here.
God my cabin's on the hill.
Yeah. Well, that's why, you know what? I'll get back to Mike Oz in a second. But, in like Nevada, I guess they got them in Arizona too, just not as prevalent. But they got a lot of houses that are built into the side of mountains. And, most of me thinks that's the coolest shit in the world. Like, I would love to have a fucking place like that. And another part of me thinks, what if we get like a super duper heavy monsoon rain that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could just see the house also sliding out of the side of the mountain and onto the floor.
Howdy, Squib.
So, I don't know. Squibby! So, I really don't know. I don't know. But I think they're cool as fuck. And if I ever had enough money, I might take the chance.
Well, that's kind of how they was trying to sell the property I bought as building a in-ground house because there was a lot of slope there, but the southeast corner was flat enough you could have built a house on it,
Right.
which is where we put the cabin, which was the highest point in the property too. And that's kind of something I was really looking at when we were looking for property is I didn't want low ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, Oz makes a good point here too, going back to the slavery thing. He says slavery goes fucking dumbass. Everybody talks like slavery no longer exists. A lot of countries still have slavery today, which is a good point in the sense that how can somebody, whether you be fucking, I don't even want to get into the trans people thinking that their lives are in danger and that type of fucking dumb shit. But, like, how do people call themselves fighting oppression in America as an American citizen when there's so much shit happening other places that they could be complaining about or working towards changing or fucking whatever the fuck, instead of having this privileged, even homeless motherfuckers are treated better than they would be in other countries. So, I mean, people don't understand how much of a privileged life that they're living in America. And then
And the shits of it is a lot of the shit they do rail against on foreign stuff for people that would fucking wipe them out of existence if they had a chance.
oh yeah, it's just like the we were talking, this might have been years ago, this might have been a while ago, but we were talking about the all the companies in America that have like gay pride and all that shit, but then when you go and look at their their Eastern fucking promotions, you won't see one rainbow and none of their shit at all because they want to make sales. That's why they're appeasing the gay market. That's why they're appeasing the, whoever is crying about whatever nowadays. That's why they have to appeal to them and appease them And they're doing the same thing in foreign countries. Like I said, you go to Pakistan, I guarantee you're not going to see one BMW ad with a rainbow flag on it.
No. Thing is that how these things usually start is with a very small vocal minority, exceptionally loud, and it's a very small percentage of the population
You know,
until the fucking people who latch onto shit like that join. But
yeah. Well, I'm of that same mind state, but lately I've been starting to really feel like people with common sense are like we're the fucking minority now. Or we're just a silent majority that nobody is saying. There's no way to. Well, as I said earlier, there's really how can you combat somebody that wants to talk over you, scream their point, not listen to your point? When you make a valid point, change the conversation, change the topic of the conversation, or the direction of it. I mean, and part of me is a people person. Like I really want people to just like, hey, think for yourself. Hey, let's get the government out of our fucking lives as much as possible. Let's let our states run things. Like the whole Roe v. Wade thing. That's fucking, it's insane to me that there are people in tears and begging for the fucking federal overreach to come back. There's,
yeah, I don't.
there's
I
people that
don't
won't vote
understand.
for fucking, there's people that won't vote for fucking Trump because they think that he's going to kill trannies in droves. But they forget he was president already, and you motherfuckers thrived. So I don't know. I don't get where it seems like common sense has left the building.
Well, that is for certain. And the whole yelling over people and shit like that is just that's the only way they win that argument.
Oh yeah, you can't have a logical conversation and no, no. And I keep bringing up the trans just because it's the most prevalent of everything, and I don't like to. I hate talking about racism because the more that we talk about racism, the more that we bring it into existence, the more that it's going to be here. It should just be people. You judge people on the merit of themselves. Are there stereotypes? Yes. Are they right some of the time? Yes. But people should be judged on by themselves. That brings me actually to this too. So, me and Tony were talking about this briefly as well. We had this Nevada question 3. Now I've been ignoring every single advertisement that's been coming on. I've been trying to skip ads. I hate the smear campaigns. I hate all the bullshit. But here in Nevada, there's this thing called Question 3. I don't know if other states are having something similar. So a yes vote supports establishing open top 5 primaries and ranked choice voting for general elections, which would apply to congressional, gubernatorial, state executive official, and state legislative elections. A no vote opposes establishing that. And which would apply to congressional, blah, 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 blah. So it would be the exact opposite. So a yes is, in layman, a yes is let's learn about the candidates. Let's see what kind of policies they have on our own. Let's research this and pick the best guy, whether he be Democrat, whether he be Republican. Let's pick the best guy. Whether green, let's pick the best guy. A no is pretty much I don't want to learn anything about it. Is it a black woman? Is it a lesbian? Is it a gay trans? Is it or I want to vote for him. Is it a Democrat? Is it a Republican? I want to vote for that. I think that this should be something that's fucking a nationwide vote. I think this should go to our federal votes. I think this should go for everything. Presidential elections.
I don't see it passing because people don't want to do their research.
No, not at all. I don't see it. I 100% agree with you. I don't see it going anywhere.
Thing is I heard of this some years ago here, and I don't know if it's something I heard on a national level or statewide here, but they wanted to ban the use of political parties on ballot. So you just had the person's name that ran, no whatever they are politically.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, hey, this is a great idea. You'd have to actually look up people you want to vote for, uh, and keep track of that. But it didn't do shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The more I sit there and think about it, how many presidents and all that have really actually came through on any of the promises and policies that they made anyway? I mean, slightly, kind of like Trump. He came through slightly when he was president. I mean, we all knew Biden was gonna fuck everything up, and he came through on that.
Well, part of it
Think.
is that when they're running for office initially, and they've not been in before, they don't know what they can.
Well, it's like
You know,
I've always looked at it as a sped up process or a sped up version of the wooing process. You know, when you're going to get a girl, you got to show her your best. You got to tell her some couple of lies here and there, and then you guys get together, and like 10 years later, you're 400 pounds, and she doesn't shave her legs no more. You know what I mean? It's just a sped up version of that. They're trying to get us to like them. They're trying to get us to move in with them and marry them, and then we finally move in with them and marry them, and turns out they were liars.
that
So,
does fit the political spectrum fairly close.
hey, listen, my middle name is Analogies. Jimmy Metaphor Pitt
They
James.
starting to get a little hard just to spell all that shit out.
Yeah. That's why I just call myself the early watch. It's easy. Ranked choice voting only benefits Democrats. Need to vote that shit down. I mean, I guess I could see that they are, as of late, they have been the best liars. I'm sure they could convince people to vote for them. But I don't know. Like I said, I would like to ultimately kill the parties. No Democrat, no Republic, voting on merit, voting on policy, maybe even past actions. Mm-hmm. But this whole party shit is just like it's killing the country. It's dividing us. It's making things way worse than they have to be.
Unless something changes with our population structures, willingness to actually put some effort into figuring out who they want to vote for, I don't see that shit happening.
No, no, and especially while, like I said, people are still finding reasons to validate themselves and champion their own causes and be the main character in their fucking put on show. It's as long as we have everybody in here that wants to be, like I said, special, and think that they are for some reason. I don't think that it's only going to be downhill from here, man. I'm going to start reading The Fall of the Roman Empire just so I know what to do next.
Get ready for the plague.
Yeah. Start putting fucking rat traps all around the house and fucking bear traps on the perimeter for people. People traps.
I did see my boy dog had killed a mouse the other day.
Yeah.
He's doing better than the fucking cat did.
Yeah, I don't know. Cats are good for like getting into little hard to reach areas that big dogs can't fit in. Other than that, they're pretty useless.
Not my cat.
Right? Oh yeah, you got
That motherfucker only killed baby mice. I never seen him catch an adult mouse.
really.
Yeah,
I could.
like you son of a bitch, you ain't earning your goddamn kitty chow.
I've seen cats do like 5 foot vertical jumps and fucking go in between refrigerators and shit that they're not supposed. You know, I like. I don't know. That's crazy to me. I always thought cats.
Honestly, the first cat I ever claimed ownership to was a barn cat from my wife's boss. We just captured the cat wild and turned her loose in the house. Put out a litter box, and I love this cat. This cat didn't want nothing to do with people at all.
Yeah.
When people were up and moving around, she was gone. But you never seen a mouse
Hmm.
after she was in the house.
She cleared that motherfucker out. Huh?
Yeah, and she'd eat them. I've had a couple of cats that would kill mice and then leave them away. She didn't. She ate them.
So Scotty was saying to research research the states that have done it and look at who's getting elected afterwards. It's mostly Democrats because they control the cities. And I could see that. Well, when I was in Arizona, before I left Arizona, you got a lot of California people, a lot of foreign people coming in, and and it's almost like, I don't want to say everybody. I mean, when I mean foreign, I'm not talking about Mexican. I mean, yeah, but like Asian, Chinese immigrants. I've seen Indian immigrants. I don't know what kind of Indian. They're like, Pakistani or whatever the fuck. But and it's almost like as soon as they come in, they're inducted into the Democrat Party. Like, this is where you belong.
Yeah, why you
This is
think
where
they
you
want
belong.
so many fucking open borders?
Yeah, and I know, but my point is, I'm watching that happen to Nevada right now too. When we came out here, this was a little hodunk town, barely anybody in it. Now they're building houses, quick as fuck too. By the way, like, these are pieces of shit houses, and I swear half of fucking Northern California is coming out here. Like, it's everybody you talk to. Oh yeah, I used to live in California. You're seeing California plates, and I'm just like,
Should build a
fuck.
fucking fence
Yeah.
up the California eastern border.
Yeah. Or just do one like take the bridge out like a movie or something like that. So when they go to the bridge, it's just a fucking 1,000-foot drop.
You motherfuckers ruined this place. You live with it.
Yeah, no shit. I got stepkids I got a stepkid in California. I still hope that motherfucker drowned. I hope California sinks and just. But then again, I'll be next if it does. Like, Nevada's, then I'll be on the coast, and I don't know if I want that.
Well, maybe the big one will come along and California will slide off into the fucking ocean.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, I don't know how I would feel about being a coastal state, though. I've never, I don't know.
Well, you'd have 10 or 15 years before they come along and fucked it up.
That is true. But like I said, man, I'm like, forces of nature scare me. I was in Florida for about a month, and like every time that a strong wind came by, I'm like, we gotta go in the fucking house. I couldn't. I was like, yeah, I don't like natural disasters, man. Not a fan.
The one thing I noticed about Florida when I was down there is that every day at about 3 o'clock, it would storm for, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was enough to take the heat off of the day for a bit. And then it came back with the humidity too.
That was the bad part, is that every single time it rained, it was wonderful for the 5 minutes that it was raining, and then
Yeah,
the rest of the day was just fucking breathing in water. It sucked.
you couldn't go outdoors. You had to stay in the air conditioner until well after dark.
Yeah. You got to time your yard.
We're
work
out there
around
trying
when
to
it
go to
rains.
set up for. We're trying to set up shit to go do gigs down there, and the first time we tried it, our stage outfit the clothes were so fucking wet, from just setting up that it was fucking horrible to play.
Mm.
I'm like, there's no way I'm moving to this son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, I just the coast. I'm as close to the coast as I ever want to be here. That's it.
Yeah, I think, only in the northern states could you stand to live by the coast in the summer, or I could stand to, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to go to Oregon or Washington. Maine probably be all right, except winter rolls around and then it's bad. Although I'm not sure how bad the coastal winters. I
Well,
mean, the ocean there might warm them up some.
well, I know the Chicago winters by the lake, man. If you go and take a walk over by any of that shit, it feels like you're getting slapped in the face with the icy claw.
Yeah, well, that's all the states in the Midwest
Yeah.
about February.
Oz says he believes all donations go to a general election fund and each candidate gets the same amount. Yeah, they're not going to have that. If this election goes south, it's over. Gunny says, if this election goes south, it's over. They've padded the blue with millions of whatever you want to call the foreigners, the illegal immigrants. They want a voting bloc to over. Of course they would. I would vote for any motherfucker that like puts me up in a 5-star hotel for free or whatever. They might not be 5-star, but you know what I mean. You got my vote. I got a house. You got a vote. Voting means nothing after that happens. And then he said something about Tony. Tony, every day I look up at the sky with a big bunny eyes for the asteroid to come. Is that bad?
No.
Yeah. Oh. I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope it's pointed right at my forehead. Nah. I don't want to die. I don't think that it's that fucking bad yet. You know what I mean? Like it's still tolerable, and even when the shit goes, if the shit goes south, like it looks like it's going to, I'm just gonna hold down the fort, man. Do what the fuck I've always done, and live my life the way I always have, and kind of just be more ready to defend myself. That's all. I don't pay attention to any of this shit anyway. For the more part.
I'm going to be more intent on getting the fuck out of this state.
Yeah, see that too. I also believe that it's going to be worse for whatever state you're in. Like people in Texas, the world goes to an end, and motherfuckers are going to be out there fucking, kicking their heels and fucking shooting guns off in the air. They're going to be happy as shit once. You know what I mean? Like I think it all depends on the state that you live in. You live in Illinois, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. You live in New York, it's going to be fucking falafels and bullshit everywhere and fucking, you know what I mean? Like I'm and not in a racist way. I'm just saying motherfuckers are going to start rioting and taking over and shit. It's just going to be how it is.
Well, and it also depends on the towns you live in too. I live in a small town where, there's a lot of people who know everybody else, and
true, that is true.
The problems are not going to be as probably quick or as thick as big cities.
That is a good point. And now, bringing it back to the big cities, though, when I was in Phoenix, the little like neighborhood that I was in, it was very like tight knit, very close. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was infighting and bickering everywhere, like there is everywhere. But like people were more willing to take care of their friends or people that they know, and which is damn near mostly the whole neighborhood. I never got that in Illinois, and I'm not, even out here, and you would think this little punk ass town in fucking Nevada would have like close neighbors and all that other shit, but I mean, it's crazy how a lot of people in this fucking day and age are like up their own asses. It's just insane to me.
Well, a lot of that can be traced directly back to fucking internet act.
Yeah.
People now no longer have to interact with people in person.
That is true. And then you're getting
There,
constant dopamine hits, when you're on the internet. I mean, I've even been guilty of this, of making a 5-star comment and people like reacting to it, and you're like, oh shit, they like me. You know what I mean? Like I've been a victim of that part of it, the internet as well. But it's just, I don't know, man. I personally, not to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't see any fixing it. I don't see us reversing back to devolving back to higher IQs and shit.
the only way that it probably gets fixed is if the whole system collapses.
Yeah.
And I really hate to have to say that out loud, but the only way you're going to make the bulk of people think for themselves is to force them to do it.
Yeah, and at this point, it's yeah. At this point, I could see it. Because, like I said, I don't see us going. I don't know. I don't see us going back to getting smarter. But the system collapsing. I don't know. I guess it's a win-win
If it
for us.
collapses, we'll have to.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
And
saying.
not necessarily smarter, but more educated in more primitive things, because that's most likely what the lifestyle would turn out to have to be.
Right, yeah. Well, it's like growing up poor. Like you realize real quick that you need to share your shit because other people are going to share shit with you, and like we need people to help people to survive. Like, that's just how it works. And you watch some of these motherfuckers are like, I came up with nothing, but are the selfishest motherfuckers you could ever meet. So I guess there's two sides there, a spectrum, I guess. I don't know. But that's what we need though, is people to help people. We need to all be out there looking out for each other instead of looking up to the government like there's some kind of celebrity or God,
I say that I grew up poor, which I suppose dollar and cents wise is true, but I was a spoiled kid because that was one of the way my parents occupied my time, was buying me shit to play with. So, I got lots of gifts and stuff, whatever the fuck I wanted usually. Until I was, like 12 or 13 when, the stuff I wanted started costing more than they could afford.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know where I would stand on that sharing. I don't want to see anybody starve to death. It comes down to it. But, am I going to take food out of my own family's mouth to feed strangers? No.
That's where a line gets drawn. No, too. That's, yeah. Like, listen,
Well, it depends on the stranger. I mean, if it's a hot young lady that I might make use of, maybe.
Well, that's where the part of a strong community comes in too, because I'm sure that you would help a good friend if they're, you know what I mean. So if all of
I
our
don't have no friends.
I get that. Listen, Tony, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't fuck with anybody because
Friends only want you to do shit for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Gunmetal guy, did you ask me if I used to wash collards in the family bathtub? The answer to that would be no. I have never had collard greens in my life.
I hate them. My wife will try to make that shit, and I won't even fucking touch it. Get out of here.
All of that fucking weird ass hillbilly shit like okra, no fucking things.
Nope. I barely like grits.
And I have legitimately tried to eat asparagus 5 different times, and that shit is god fucking awful.
Oh, well, see, that's where we split roads, my friend, because I could fucking grill up some asparagus with some butter in that motherfucker and some salt and make it taste like fucking heaven.
I'm throwing that fucker on the grill. It better be a goddamn piece of beef. Pork will suffice.
Well, I mean, you can't just eat asparagus. You gotta pair it with something. I don't know.
Anytime I've been around collard greens being cooked, they stunk to me.
I
Not as
hate 'em.
bad as cooking spinach or liver.
You know what collard greens remind me of? The reason why I've never fucked with collard greens is because they remind me of a hot, soggy salad. And I like a hot, soggy
See that?
lettuce. I can't do that.
The thing of it is that's one of the deals with okra too.
I've never even had
Is
that.
it kind of like trying to swallow a big wad of snot?
Ugh. Well, there goes breakfast for this morning.
And as soon as I heard that from somebody else, while we were sitting at a table attempting to eat okra, I tried one once, spit it into a freaking hanky, and that was it because they were exactly right. It was like hot snot. Ugh.
Blech. Blech.
Now, if they batter dipped it and deep fried it, maybe it'd be all right. I've heard of people doing that.
Nope.
But no.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Fuck that.
Well, this conversation has devolved. I think I'm gonna call it for
Well,
right
they can't
now,
say
man.
it. All right, yeah, I got a bunch of fucking work I got.
Yeah. Let me see here. We're on for next week. Oh yeah, we're gonna miss you guys. So happy Halloween and all that extra shit. Let me see this for Monday. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be on Monday if that works for you.
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody.
Yeah, they're always
Go ahead.
on vacation this week, so we were going to go to the cabin, but the fucking front end's about to fall out from under my truck, so I got to put a couple of lower control arms in it.
Oh shit. Yeah. So you do got work, real work to do. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I got to do fucking transfer case and rear end fill on the Suburban to get it out of the fucking way so I can get the truck in here.
Damn. Transfer case ain't too bad.
No, the rear end ain't bad.
All right. We'll see you guys. I'm getting out of here.
Take care, folks. Have a good Halloween.
Yeah. All right.
Kill, murder, kill, fuck, kill, murder, kill,